President Trump, if the cartels are now going to be seen as foreign terror organizations, would you think about ordering U.S. special forces into Mexico to take them out?
Could happen. Stranger things have happened.
Mr. President,
that was actually
sure that Maduro would accept Venezuelans?
Say it?
How will you make sure that Maduro would accept Venezuelans?
Well, we're going to see in Venezuela. We're looking at Venezuela very strongly. It's a country I know very well for a lot of reasons, and it was a great country 20 years ago, and now it's a mess. Right?
Sir, can we expect ICE raids starting tomorrow in major cities?
What does that mean?
Can we expect ICE raids in major cities tomorrow?
I don't want to say when, but it's going to happen. It has to happen, or we're not going to have a country left.
This is actually an executive order designating the cartels and other organizations to be foreign terrorist organizations.
That's a big one.
Yes, sir.
People have wanted to do this for years. So they are now designated as terrorist organizations, foreign. And Mexico probably doesn't want that. But we have to do what's right. They're killing our people. They're killing 250, 300,000 American people a year. Not 100, like has been reported for 15 years. It's probably 300,000.
This is an executive.
So Mexico doesn't want that. How are you going to deal with this?
I don't know. You'll have to ask them.
Sir, this is an executive order entitled Protecting the American People Against Invasion, which again deals with the southern border and the unprecedented admission of illegal aliens across the southern border.
What do you see the biggest national security threat to the U.S., Mr. President? What's going to be your priority on foreign policy?
Say?
What's going to be your priority on foreign policy? What do you see as the biggest national
Foreign
security
policy is a
threat?
big statement. I mean, my priority on foreign policy is going to be to keep America safe. Very simple. It's a big question, though. That's a very big question.
Who is going to be the first foreign leader that you plan to meet, or who are you going to call tomorrow on your first day?
I've already been meeting people. I've been meeting them. I've been talking to them. I met with Prime Minister Trudeau, like all Governor Trudeau. I met with numerous foreign leaders. Go ahead.
Sir, what might be your first
This next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
Good. That's a good one. Birthright. That's a big one.
What about that one in the court? That one is likely to be.
Could be. I think we have good ground, but you could be right. I mean, you'll find out. It's ridiculous. We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. But, we'll see. We have very good grounds.
That is not
Sir, people have wanted
true. Canada, Mexico, Argentina, Brazil, they do it as well.
To do this for decades.
Sir, this is a proclamation declaring a national emergency at the southern border of the United States.
That's a big one. A lot of big ones, huh? You know what that means, right?
President Trump, did President Biden leave you a letter?
He may have. Wait. Don't they leave it on the desk? I don't know. Oh.
What's in there?
Thank you, Peter. It could have been years before we found this.
Wow.
Wow. Thank you.
Can you read that on the outside?
Maybe we should all read it together.
Let's read it.
Well, maybe I'll read it first and then make that
That sounds
determination.
great.
Peter, thank you very much. I may not have seen this for months.
Happy to help with the passing of the torch.
I did. I left him one in the desk just like this.
What are you talking about?
Unification of our country. I didn't know that he gave a pardon to his family because he did it during my speech.
He didn't tell you to handle it?
No, he didn't tell me. No. He did
That's
it.
criminal,
They released
bro.
it during my speech. During my speech. So all I could do was say, "Excuse me, I'd like to come back and speak some more." So no, we were surprised about that.
Criminal, bro.
Mr. President,
It's bad precedent, obviously.
where are you thinking on tariffs on Mexico, given these actions you're signing on the border?
Well, we're thinking in terms of 25% on Mexico and Canada because they're allowing vast numbers of people. Canada's a very bad abuser also. Vast numbers of people to come in
They're allowing fentanyl to come through. Fentanyl and all those stuff.
and fentanyl to come in.
When do you think you would enact those?
I think February 1st.
Are you planning on giving notice of that?
I think we'll do it February 1st
25% on both, sir.
Sir,
on each.
On each, yes.
this is an executive order taking a large number of executive actions to secure our southern border.
Okay? Sounds reasonable.
President Trump, you remember 4 years ago, Barack Obama had told you that the top threat to the country was going to be North Korea. Did Joe Biden tell you what he thinks the top threat to the country is?
No,
right now?
no.
Why not?
I think we have a lot of them.
What do
Right
you
now,
think is the top
I think we
threat?
have a lot. I think North Korea turned out to be good. I was very friendly with him. He liked me. I liked him. We got along very well. They thought that was a tremendous threat. Now, he is a nuclear power, but we got along. I think he'll be happy to see him coming back.
And
I think he has tremendous condo capability. He's got a lot of shoreline.
Thank you, sir.
Are we going to work with countries from South America to coordinate on immigration?
Well, she says work with South America. We are America. We don't have to work with anybody below us. God damn it.
About who?
about immigration in general?
This is an executive order. Sorry, sir.
I'm fine with legal immigration. I like it. We need people, and I'm absolutely fine with it. We want to have it. We need it because we're going to have a lot of companies coming in to avoid tariffs. You know, if you don't want tariffs, all you have to do is build your plant in the U.S. So we're going to have a lot of workers coming in, but we have to have legal immigration.
Do you have a date in mind for when you want to put in on the China tariffs?
Which one?
60%?
No. You're talking about which? Say it again.
The China tariffs, the broad
China?
China tariffs?
Well, as you know, I put on large tariffs on China, and they've really been forced to leave them. And if we didn't leave them, you wouldn't have one steel mill that's open in this country because they were dumping massive amounts of steel. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars from China because they were unable to terminate the tariffs I put on China because it was too much money and the budgets didn't work and other reasons too. No, I mean, we're going to have meetings and calls with President Xi. I spoke to President Xi last week, as you know. Did you know that? I had a very good phone call.
But do you stand with NATO at this moment? Are you planning to meet your NATO allies?
No, NATO has to pay more money. NATO has to pay 5%.
NATO took
We
it
are,
back.
we're in the Ukraine war by $200 billion more than NATO. It's ridiculous because it affects them a lot more. We have an ocean in between. And we've spent $200 billion more on Ukraine than
Thank you, NATO, for going to Afghanistan for America. But anyways, nah, chill.
NATO has spent. And they've got to equalize.
Did you talk
How
to
can you
Xi
bring-
about? Did you talk to Xi about the Ukraine war?
Yeah.
Because China and Brazil together has a proposal to bring Russia and Ukraine to talk.
That's good. That's fine. I'm ready.
When are you going
That's
to talk
good.
with the Brazilian
How did
president?
Brazil get involved?
Brazil?
This is a new one.
When are you going to talk to Lula?
Are you from Brazil?
I'm from Brazil.
Ah,
When are you
that's why they're involved, I guess.
When are you going to talk with the Brazilian president? How do you see your relationship with Latin America and Brazil?
That's one of the problems in American politics. You have all these people from coming from other countries, and their allegiance is not to the United States. United States is the only country that allows, and this is a bad thing about America, that allows people from other countries to ask for things for their home country. Like, if you come to America, you shouldn't be asking for no favors for your country. That is like that's a crime, man.
Great. Should be great. They need us much more than we need them. We don't need them. They need us. Everybody needs us.
It sounds like you will not proceed with additional China tariffs necessarily, depending on how talks go with President Xi. Is that correct?
What is that? Define that.
Well, you're asking, you pledged in the campaign potentially a 10% tariff on China or as much as...
Because of fentanyl.
Right, so I'm asking where you're...
That's only because of fentanyl. There are other things too.
Are additional
And
China
a very big
tariffs-
thing is the Panama Canal. China controls the Panama Canal. What's that all about? They're not supposed to be good. When Jimmy Carter gave it, which was a terrible mistake, he didn't do it. He didn't give it to China. He gave it to Panama.
Jimmy Carter is a communist, man. This guy used to hang out with Fidel Castro. Jimmy Carter, I don't care you die, you suck, bro.
And China controls the Panama Canal.
So are China tariffs
And we're
still
not
on the
going to allow
table?
that to happen.
Are they still on the table or is that... on-
We're not going to allow that to happen.
Thank you, sir.
What can we expect of the countries in NATO that spend the least amount of money, like Spain, France, below the 5%?
Spain is very low. And yet, are they a BRICS nation?
What?
They're a BRICS nation, Spain.
No.
You know what a BRICS nation is?
No, Spain is not a BRIC nation. I don't know if they want to join. But I do tell you this, Turkey is a BRIC nation, and they're supposed to be an ally.
You'll figure it out. But, and if the BRICS nations want to do that, that's okay, but we're going to put at least a 100% tariff on the business they do with the United States. You know what the BRICS is, right? You guys know.
Brazil,
You know what I'm
Russia.
saying, right? You know what I'm saying.
But Spain is not...
This is an
So it's not even a threat. In fact, since I made that statement, Biden said, well, they have us over a barrel. I said, no, we have them over a barrel. And there's no way...
Spain is a socialist country. That's what they are. The Socialist Party runs, and this is not me trying to imply something. They're socialists.
They're going to be able to do that.
This is an
So they are
executive order
risking
relating
100%
to...
tariffs, those countries, like Spain?
As a BRICS nation, yes.
But how
They'll
is
have
the
a
BRICS
100% tariff if they so much as even think about doing what they thought.
Can you explain how is it...
And therefore they'll give it up immediately. So will China give it up.
So this is about reforming the system of hiring in the federal government to ensure that merit is the lodestar of hiring decisions as
as
opposed
per
to
the Supreme Court.
other matters. Yes, sir.
Mr. President, here's a big deal, merit. A country is going to be based on merit again. Can you believe it?
Mr. President,
That sounds awesome. You know, we raise our kids and we say, work hard so that you can be someone. But in the last few years, it has been more of like, pretend you're a victim. That's what it has been about.
and the Russia-Ukraine war and the first day in office, where do things stand right now and how you intend?
Well, there's only half a day. I have another half a day left. We'll see. We want to get it done.
This is an order creating and implementing the Department of Governmental Efficiency, known as DOGE.
Okay, that's a big one.
Is Elon Musk going to get a West Wing office?
No, he's getting an office for about 20 people that we're hiring to make sure that these get implemented. We have a problem in this country. You sign an executive order, it doesn't get done for 6 months. As an example, when we allow the 6 hostages to go out. It might not be approved under the old days for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months. You know, they had a good ruling from the Supreme Court, and it's like nothing happened. That ruling was 6 months ago, you know that. And it was like they didn't have a ruling. They've been treated very unfair. The judges have been absolutely brutal. The prosecutors have been brutal. Nobody's ever treated people in this country like that.
Mr. President, are you treating the sentences of anyone who
Terrible,
assaulted a police officer
terrible.
on January 6th?
Well, we're looking at 2 police officers, actually, Washington police officers, who went after an illegal, and things happened, and they ended up putting them in jail. They got 5-year jail sentences. You know the case. And we're looking at that in order to give them we got to give them a break.
But is there clemency in your actions today for anyone?
Well, it would be a
who
part.
assaulted
That would be a part.
police officers?
The one I'm talking about would be a part.
Here you go, sir. This is
Should there
an,
be punishment for the people who assaulted law enforcement officers that day?
Well, I will say this: they've been in jail for a long time
What a
already.
shady reporter. What a shady reporter, man. That is not what he's saying. You shady.
I see murderers in this country get 2 years, 1 year, and maybe no time. So they've already been in jail for a long time. These people have been destroyed. What they've done to these people is outrageous. There's rarely been anything like it in the history of our country. And even people that were aggressive, and in many cases I believe they happen to be outside agitators, but you know, what do I know, right? But I think they were outside agitators. There were outside agitators involved. And obviously the FBI was involved because Ray admitted the FBI was involved. Didn't he say 23 people, indirectly or directly, were involved? And it was then 26. That's a lot of people. Now we have, we got to take care of these people have been treated so badly. It's never happened before. What happened in Seattle where they took over a big portion of the city? What happened in Portland where they burn down the city every day and people die? Nothing happened to anybody. But they go after these people violently. I mean, they're still going after brand new people. They found somebody else with a picture. There's never been anything like this. And you know, it's almost 100%. Think of this. Almost 100% of the people are convicted. 100%. It's Washington, D.C. People go into a trial and they say, oh, I have a wonderful lawyer and I didn't do anything wrong. And they end up in shackles almost immediately and jail. No, we're not going to let it happen.
About Greenland, we have some interest in buying it, but is there any other option that would satisfy you?
About what?
Greenland, instead of buying it.
Finland?
Greenland.
Well, Greenland. Greenland is a wonderful place.
Let's
We
take
need for
Greenland.
international
Yeah,
security.
let's take Greenland. That's not
And I'm sure that Denmark will come along. I think it's costing them a lot of money to maintain it, to keep it.
Look, what Greenland has to do is do a referendum so they can become free and then we can have them. And if not, we can also go to war with Denmark. Who cares?
The people of Greenland are not happy with Denmark, as you know. I think they're happy with us. We had representatives, my son and representatives went up there 2 weeks ago, and they like us. So we'll see what happens. But Greenland is necessary, not for us, it's necessary for international security. You have Russian boats all over the place, you have China boats all over the place, warships, and they can't maintain it.
Do you plan to meet President Putin, sir?
Who?
Do you plan to meet President Putin, sir?
I'll be meeting with President Putin.
When do you think?
I don't know, I can't speak.
Do you know what your first trip foreign trip might be, sir?
So first foreign trip typically has been with UK, but I did it with Saudi Arabia last time because they agreed to buy $450 billion worth of our product. I said, I'll do it, but you have to buy American product, and they agreed to do that. They bought $450 billion. It was the least reported story I've ever been involved
And
in.
now, where are you planning to go now?
Well, I don't know. If Saudi Arabia wanted to buy another 450 or 500, we'll up it for all the inflation.
Mr. President, you say you were going
think I
to end
probably
the
got
war
that.
first day. How do you plan to end the Ukraine war?
Well, we're going to try and get it done as quickly as possible.
Do you want to push Israel and Saudi
It should have never
Arabia
started. You know the war with Ukraine and Russia?
to normalize relations?
I don't think I have to push it. I think it's going to happen, but maybe not quite yet. But they'll end up being in the Accords, the Abraham Accords.
President Trump,
I think Saudi Arabia will end up being in the Abraham Accords.
This year?
Could be, but you know, soon. Not in a very long way. Oh, look at that! It says TikTok.
President
My! What is that all about?
first, we have Alaska, sir. This is an executive order relating to unleashing Alaska's potential as an energy reservoir for the entire nation.
And what about Anwar?
I believe that would be included in aspects of the
So we're
order.
opening up Anwar.
on the TikTok piece, President Trump, you and your members of your team now used to warn about dangers of TikTok spying on Americans. What changed that you're not worried about that anymore?
Well, it depends on the deal. I mean, I may not do the deal, or I may do the deal. TikTok is worthless. Worthless if I don't approve it. It has to close. I learned that from the people that own it. If I don't do the deal, it's worthless. Worth nothing. If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. $1 trillion. So if I do the deal I'm talking about doing it for the United States. If I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half.
The TikTok
In other words, I think the U.S. should be entitled to get half of TikTok. And congratulations, TikTok has a good partner. And that would be worth, could be $500 billion or something. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy. But it's worthless if the president doesn't sign, then it's worthless. If the president does sign, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. So I think, like a joint venture, I think we would have a joint venture with the people from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's one of many ideas.
I don't trust TikTok, man. Those Chinese, why didn't they sell TikTok? You know, the fact that they didn't sell TikTok makes me think that something shady is going on, because if they're the owners and they're making money, it's not like the owners of TikTok use TikTok, for the love of God. There's a lot of manipulation going on. I think I'm gonna have to side against Trump on this one. Close that crap, or at least yes, make it America 100%, man. Don't trust the Chinese government. They're shady communist assholes.
The CEO seems now, did he say that he's open to that idea?
Who?
The CEO of TikTok is around.
Oh, I think he'd probably like it because he's got nothing. I mean, they really have nothing. It's passed in Congress. It gives the president the right to make a deal or to close it. And we have 90 days to make that decision. But I could see making a deal where the U.S. gets 50% of TikTok, polices it a little bit or a lot, depends on them. But remember, they make telephones in China. They make all sorts of things in China. Nobody ever complains about that. Here they're complaining about this. There's so many different products made in China.
Trump is so rational. Trump is he's so unbiased. Trump is the GOAT, bro.
And nobody ever complained about it. The only one they complain about is TikTok. And TikTok is largely young people. I guess I have a warm spot for TikTok that I didn't have originally. But, you know, I went on TikTok, and I won young people up by 36%, Peter. And Republicans typically don't do too well with young people. But it's a different Republican Party.
Would the U.S. government buy a portion of TikTok then, or how would it get that 50%?
No, you take 50% of TikTok for the approval that TikTok can continue in business. And they'd have a great partner. The U.S. would be their partner. But the U.S. essentially would be paid for doing that half of the value of TikTok.
Would there be a private sector owner as
Could
well?
be, yeah, could be a lot. Tell you what, every rich person has called me about TikTok
You wanted to block TikTok. Why did you change your mind?
because I got to use it. And remember, TikTok is largely about kids, young kids. If China's going to get information about young kids, I don't know.
Are you
I
concerned
think,
about Chinese?
to be honest with you, I think we have bigger problems than that. But you know, when you take a look at telephones that are made in China and all the other things that are made in China, military equipment made in China, TikTok, I think TikTok is not their biggest problem. But there's big value in TikTok if it gets approved. If it doesn't get approved, there's no value. So if we create that value, why aren't we entitled to like half?
Sir, if you don't have to do 90 days when you shut it down,
Does Biden ever do news conferences like this? How many news conferences, Peter, has he done like this?
Like this?
None.
0.
And it would be 0 for the next infinity.
Joe Biden should go to jail. Joe Biden should go to hell. Joe Biden is a criminal, bro. How are you going to be a president and never do a news conference? And you know who are the biggest criminals? The news organizations. Because why didn't the news, hey, breaking news, it has been 10 days and this guy hasn't showed. 4 years passed by, no news conference, and no question was ever asked. No question was asked. The media is liberal. The media is communist. The media is left-leaning. The media sucks. The media sucks. You can subscribe to my channel. I'm not biased. I'm sincere, bro. I'm always keeping it real.
For infinity, it would be 0.
Is President Musk going to help implement the executive orders? I think you mentioned
No.
implementation.
Elon, no. Elon's very busy sending rocket ships up to various places with lots of satellites on them.
What is your reaction to the confirmation of Marco Rubio, and what does it mean for Latin America?
Which one?
Marco Rubio as a secretary.
Marco Rubio. You said Marco.
Marco Rubio.
Yeah, I think he's great. I think Marco's doing a fantastic job. I think he's going to get a lot of votes. I think he's going to be at 90% or something. I mean, I'm hearing very good. People know him. They know him in the Senate. They know he's good. He's doing a good job. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know what's going to happen with that. He's got some very strong ideas now, Marco.
you signed it.
President.
Did you sign the TikTok program?
Yeah.
Yes, that was just
One of Marco Rubio's ideas
Just
is
signed it.
How many
still
did you sign?
changing Venezuela, changing power. Are you still committed with Maduro leaving power in
Well,
Venezuela?
we're going to find out about that too.
It's about
Because
Venezuela, bro. We don't care about Venezuela. All we care is about them criminals coming up from Venezuela. We're gonna deport their asses. We don't care about who's in power in Venezuela. We don't give a damn. We don't care.
we're going to probably stop buying oil from Venezuela. We don't need their oil.
Another embargo like the first term?
No, it could be, but we don't want to buy. We don't have to buy their oil. We have plenty of oil for ourselves. So
President Trump.
that'll change Venezuela quite a bit.
President Trump, there was a lot of concern about this during the campaign. The question that only works today: are you a dictator on paper?
No. I can't imagine even being called that. No, I believe in the sanctity of the vote. The Democrats didn't because they cheated like dogs, but I believe in the sanctity, and this was too big to rig. This last election was just too big to rig.
Mr.
But
President,
no,
when do you plan
really
to
the
speak
opposite.
When do you plan to speak to President Putin?
Could be very soon.
And you talked a bit about Ukraine and Russia, but
Oh, here you go. Get ready. We're gonna be talking about Russian gay again. Trump wants to talk to the leader of a country with the most nuclear power in the world, more nuclear bombs, the biggest country in the world geographical wise, a country that has a border with North Korea and Finland. Can you imagine that? It's a superpower. It even has a border with Poland, believe it or not. And come on, man, come on.
How long do you think it would take to end that conflict? And
I have to speak to President Putin. We're going to have to find out. He can't be thrilled. He's not doing so well. I mean, he's grinding it out, but most people thought that war would have been over in about 1 week. And now you're into 3 years, right? So he can't be thrilled. It's not making him look very good. Now, eventually, it's a big machine, so things will happen. But I think it'd be very well off to end that war. We have numbers that almost 1 million Russian soldiers have been killed. About 700,000 Ukrainian soldiers are killed. Russia's bigger. They have more soldiers to lose. But that's no way to run a country.
What did your TikTok order do, Mr. President?
It just gave me the right to sell it or close it. Essentially, with TikTok, I have the right to either sell it or close it. And we'll make that determination. And we may have to get an approval from China, too. I'm not sure. But I'm sure they'll approve it. And if they don't approve it, it would be somewhat of a hostile act, I think. But it's good for China if it gets approved.
Mr. President, you're not guaranteeing that TikTok will be around after 90 days from today?
No, but it could very well be. It makes sense for it to be, because it's got tremendous value. But if we create the value by approving, in other words, that approval gives it tremendous value.
Guys, subscribe to this channel. My name is Alex. This is Políticamente Sincero, which means in English, politically sincere. I do give you like a Spanish take on things, but hey, man, come and join this channel because join this channel because this is what it means to join this channel. You can have this channel as a show off. Whenever they tell you that we brown people, Spanish people, we don't support Donald Trump, you recommend this channel to those woke idiots. And by the way, it's Latino, not Latinx. Stupid people.
If that's the case, then we should be entitled to 50% as a country. You haven't heard that one before, right? It's called a joint venture. And nobody ever thought that way.
If you're a partner.
Well, I think you have a lot of people that would be interested in TikTok with the United States as a partner.
Mr. President, what was it like walking into the Oval Office this evening?
Oh, what a great feeling. One of the better feelings I've ever had.
Do you like this town better now than in 2017?
Well, we're very experienced now. You would say nobody's ever had experience like I have. I've dealt with some very good people. I've dealt with some very bad people, and I know who the bad ones are and the good ones are. Don't forget, I was very successful in primarily the real estate business. And people used to say, who's worse, a politician or a vicious real estate developer? And I'd always say, the real estate developer is far worse. But after about 3 months and getting to know scum like Adam Schiff and other people like that, I said, no, actually, real estate people are quite nice by comparison.
You said you plan to speak with President Putin soon. What about President Zelensky, and what's your message?
Yeah, I would, but he's told me he wants to make a deal. Zelensky wants to make a deal. I don't know if Putin does. He might not. I don't know. He should make a deal. I think he's destroying Russia by not making a deal. I think Russia's going to be in big trouble. You take a look at their economy. You take a look at the inflation in Russia. So I would hope. I got along with him great, and I would hope he wants to make a deal.
Mr. President, are you keeping U.S. sanctions on Russia until he makes a deal?
Well, sanctions or tariffs. I think the word tariff is much better because it keeps your dollar stronger. I think tariffs are more effective. I mean, I use sanctions on Iran. Iran was broke. When I left office, Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, none. They were flat broke. And October 7th would have never happened. And I think you all know that. It would have never happened. They had no money. Now they're rich, but they're weakened in a different way. I would say that the one attack by Israel really set them back. It really set them back. The pages.
The best country in the world. For some time there, I'm gonna tell you this: if Kamala would have became president for 4 more years, let's not even talk about 8. This could have become the worst country in the world because this could have been a hell zone. Look at Spain. Look at all those countries that have lefty leaders. Let me tell you this: if you doubt that America is the best country, I understand. It's been tough 4 years. Give us a few months. The best country in the world, the United States. Who is the 42% of idiots who say that Mexico is the best country? I think you guys are trolling me. I don't know.
The pages and others. The attack on air defense was a bad attack for Iran.
What are you signing now, sir?
It's an executive order relating to reforms to the federal workforce, including to the senior executive service.
We're getting rid of all of the cancer. I call it cancer. The cancer caused by the Biden administration.
How confident are you, Mr. President, that you can keep the ceasefire in Gaza and conclude the three phases of the deal?
I'm not confident. That's not our war, it's their war, but
Apologize.
I'm not confident. But I think they're very weakened on the other side.
Do you support the two-state
Gaza,
solution?
boy, I looked at a picture of Gaza. Gaza is like a massive demolition site. That place it's really got to be rebuilt in a different way.
Do you plan to help in rebuilding Gaza?
I might. You know, Gaza is interesting. It's a phenomenal location. On the sea, best weather. You know, everything's good. It's like some beautiful things could be done with it, but it's very interesting. But some fantastic things could be done with Gaza.
How do you see the future in governance for Gaza?
Well, it depends. I can't imagine you could have, well, you certainly can't have the people that were there. Most of them are dead, by the way, right? Most of them are dead. But they didn't exactly run it well. Run viciously and badly. So you can't have that.
Mr. President, on TikTok, sir, will you pause any decision on Chinese tariffs until you know what the resolution on TikTok will be? Are those things
No,
connected
if
at all?
China didn't approve it, we could put tariffs on China. Don't forget, China charges us tariffs, and we charge them very little, except for what I did. I put a
Yeah, man. I mean, let me tell you a way that China charges tariffs without charging tariffs. They don't even allow our movies to be there. They block like 90% of our movies. That's effed up, bro.
we're talking hundreds of billions of dollars. But until I came along, China never paid 10 cents to this country. They ripped us off, and they never paid anything. But like, if we wanted to make a deal with TikTok, and it was a good deal, and China wouldn't approve it, then I think ultimately they'd approve it because we'd put tariffs on China. Maybe. I'm not saying I would, but you certainly could do that. And if we said, well, if you're not going to approve it, then that's a certain hostility, and we'll put tariffs of 25, 30, 40, 50%, even 100%. And if we did that, I think they'd approve it.
President Trump, you've seen the other living presidents a couple times in the last few months. If you ever had to call on one of them for advice about anything that's going on here, which one would you call?
It's an interesting. Well, I thought Bill Clinton was a very good politician. I don't think he was used properly. I think
That's what I said, man. I really like Bill Clinton as a president. Do I like his wife? No, his wife sucks. But Bill Clinton was a really good president, man. Ronald Reagan was a good president. Bill Clinton was a good president. John F. Kennedy was the best president in the 20th century. And yeah, man, of course. I even liked Nixon a little bit, to be honest with you. Carter was the worst.
disrespected him. When Hillary was running, he came back and he said, you know, you better get up to Michigan and Wisconsin. You remember that, Peter. Every house has a Trump sign on it. And they all laughed at him because the Republicans had won Michigan and Wisconsin for decades, long time. And they all laughed at Bill Clinton. Like, the hell does he know? And he turned out to be right because I won both of them. And then we just won both in this election, too. We won Wisconsin and Michigan and every other swing state. We won all the swing states, all 7. They talked about 7 swing states, and we won them all. So, but Bill Clinton he had a great political sense, I think.
You looked like you were having a good conversation with President Obama at President.
I was. And you'd like to know what it was?
Everybody wants to know.
Maybe he told him you weren't born in America, you was born in Indonesia. Ooh, people remember who used to call Trump used to say that Obama was not born in America. But Trump was bad for that one, man. That was cold.
Everybody wants to know, and I wouldn't want to, but we were having some crazy conversation. Why are you asking a question like that? I don't think you want to know. You might not. You might be insulted.
It's an executive order relating to holding former government officials accountable for unlawful disclosure of sensitive information. This next one, sir, is a declaration of a national energy emergency.
So you also
That's a big one. You know what that allows you to do? That means you can do whatever you have to do to get out of that problem. And we do have that kind of an emergency.
President Trump, at some point will you use your powers of the presidency to tell Americans who are concerned about drones?
Yeah, oh, good. Yeah. I will.
Can you tell us now?
In fact, I'd like to know because I just got here.
What do you think?
I just came here. I've been here for, 15 minutes now.
Do people listening, because this is going out live.
And I got to read this letter, too. Because of you, I found this letter.
I can read it for you.
It's interesting. Yeah, I knew you would. Your father would, too.
But is it anything these drones? Is it anything that makes you worried?
No, I think it's terrible. I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
And can you commit to some kind of...
In fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that was, Susie? Okay? Yeah, why don't we find out? Immediately. I can't imagine it's an enemy, or there would have been, people would have gotten blown up all over. Maybe they were testing things. I don't know why they wouldn't have said what it was. They had a lot of them flying over Bedminster, which is interesting. Right?
And with the events today and yesterday, was everything moved inside just for cold weather, or was there some kind of security?
No security. Because they had everything shut down to drones. You can shut that down pretty easily if you're sophisticated. They're very sophisticated, these people. No, it was just cold weather. And we made a good move because, first of all, I thought it was incredible in the Capitol today. You know why I liked it? Because I got great reviews on that speech. I got great reviews. Can you believe it? They actually were fair. Maybe the fake news is changing.
The media is changing. MSNBC, Rachel Maddow is an idiot, rainbow idiot. But the media is respecting. The media is respecting. I will give big ups to Facebook, to Amazon. They're respecting. But I think there's still like the hardcore young, the Ariana Grandes, Lady Gaga's of the world, the LeBron James of the world. But ironically, kind of connecting it, but it's a different topic. There's also like I don't know if it's God's work on this, but there are people who are messing around against Trump. They are declining on their own, right? Like if you think about Lady Gaga, or Lady Gaga did release a good song recently, but beyond that, I mean, most of these people are losers. Most of the people that are against Trump, they're losers. They're losers in life, and they're losers in their souls, and they want to rebel against Trump because they have a messed up life, man.
Unleashing energy production.
Unleashing energy production. But I thought it was, I think having it in the Capitol is great. It's obviously, you can take care of the people you have to take care of. The city was booming. And if we would have done it outside, people would have been hurt because it was really cold. It was like, looked sunny. But when you stood outside for 10 minutes, people were running back in. It was really cold and really windy. The wind brings it down a lot. So we made the right decision. You couldn't have stayed, I don't think you could have had it out. You know how cold it was today. It was, people went out for a little while just to test it. They couldn't stay out more than 10 minutes. They all came back in. So we would have had a disaster if we did that, and people would have been hurt.
The unlawful disclosure deal, is that related to the Hunter Biden situation?
Which one?
The one on unlawful disclosures by federal officials, is that related to
No, I think it's just more general than that. It's not Hunter Biden. I was surprised that President Biden would go and pardon his whole family, because that makes him look very guilty. I could have pardoned my family. I could have pardoned myself, my family. I said, if I do that, it's going to make me look very guilty. I don't think I'd be sitting here, frankly. If I did that, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now.
Are you listening to that? Donald Trump could have pardoned himself and saved himself from so many times from going to court in New York. He knows it. Biden knows it. And Biden said, well, you know what? He didn't pardon himself, and let me go after him now with the FBI, and let's make up false rumors. The whole thing with Georgia and all that stuff. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. You Democrats are criminals. You Democrats are like the Latin American countries that I deeply study that we escaped from. America now is in the path of righteousness. Before it was in the path of Latin America. And I know it sounds we're saying Latin America because that's my comparison. That's my comparison. Whoever's been to Latin America knows. Whoever's been to Latin America knows. 90% of it is a deep share hole. That's what we were becoming, a banana republic.
Because I would have shown that you're guilty. But by pardoning his brother or brothers, by pardoning all of those people that he pardoned, by pardoning J6, the Unselect Committee, they destroyed all of the documents. They deleted all of the information. There's no information. And a lot of the information pertains to Nancy Pelosi because she was given 100, I mean, you know this, it's on tape with her daughter. Nancy Pelosi was responsible for not taking advantage of 10,000 soldiers or 1,000. You wouldn't have you could have used 400. It was a relatively small crowd. It wasn't the crowd that was at the mall. It was a small crowd. So I was a little bit surprised that he did it because it makes him look guilty. I mean, he's going to have to live with it. Now, with that being said, it's unbelievable precedent it creates for a president. But the precedent is unbelievable. Now maybe every president that leaves office, they're going to pardon every person they ever met, so they don't have some lunatic like a deranged Jack.
It's a crime, bro. This is a crime what they did.
Jack Smith, who's a total lunatic, by the way. Not a smart guy either. He's a dummy. But we beat the hell out of him. And I helped my reputation.
Do you think you have to do the same thing at the end of this term?
Well, I guess now I have precedent to do it. I wouldn't want to do that. No, I think it makes you look very guilty. I think it makes Biden look very bad, very weak, and very guilty. And I mean, he pardoned everybody. How about this J6 committee? Why is he pardoning them? The reason is because if you delete and destroy documentation, everything, they have nothing because they were guilty as hell. They rigged it. It was a rigged deal. And when you do that, they look very bad. But I was a little surprised he did it. Liz Cheney, I mean, she's a lunatic. And she lost by the greatest.
Hey, Don, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you here.
Greatest margin in the history of a politician running for Congress, like 40 points. The reason it was the greatest is because anybody losing that badly is going to drop out. but she's a nut job. She doesn't drop out. She just keeps chugging forward. And she lost by almost 40 points. That's the biggest number anybody's ever lost by. But why would Biden do that? He pardoned her and pardoned everybody. The reason is that they destroyed documents. And if you're even in a civil case, which this wouldn't be, I mean, people go to jail for a long time for doing that. What's this one?
That's unleashing American energy, sir. It relates to easing permitting processes and other regulatory systems to ensure that we can produce energy efficiently to drive the American economy forward.
President Trump, looking around the office, we noticed some changes from the way that Biden had it set up. Can you confirm that you have added back the Diet Coke line?
I think this, first of all, I just got here. So my people came in. They have extraordinary decorator sense, right? Let me just see some of the pictures. That's a good one. I could live with him. I could live with George Washington, I can tell you. I could live with Thomas Jefferson. I could live with most of them. They took a very safe route. They don't have any bad ones up there.
Withdrawing from
What is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir.
Ooh, that's a big one. So we paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China with 1.4 billion people. We have 350 to pay. Nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally, but let's say we have 325.
We have $500 million. That's hilarious, man.
They had 1.4 billion. They were paying 39 million. We were paying 500 million. It seemed a little unfair to me. So that wasn't the reason, but I dropped out. They offered me to come back for 39 million. In theory, it should be less than that, but and when Biden came back, they came back for 500 million. He knew that you could have come back for 39 million. They wanted us back so badly, so we'll see what happens.
Mr. President,
Pretty sad to think of it. China pays 39 million, and we pay 500 million. And China's a bigger country.
Mr. President, you spoke about inflation today in your remarks. What actions are you taking today that will have a direct impact for Americans on their everyday costs to bring costs down?
The biggest thing and factor for inflation is energy. They screwed up my energy policy, and then they went back to it. They hurt it really badly.
They're thinking of the environment. It's a religion. They're thinking of that. They're thinking about, and in reality, I respect people that care about the environment, by the way. I have met some wonderful people that talk about saving the whales, saving the oceans. Like, there's a lot of truth to that. Like, intoxicating the ocean, the air. There's truth to that. And there are areas in the world that can damage greatly because of that. But when it comes to the Democrats, what they have done is push an agenda of making laws that prohibits business and favors other businesses. The story is long, but again, global warming is real. To some degree, is real. I'm not gotta be careful here. I don't want to get shut down in my channel here. But the things that the Democrats do, that's not cool. That's not cool. But yeah, man, we gotta take care of the environment. We gotta take care of the environment, but we also gotta care about the people in the world, and we gotta create, and we gotta bring inflation down. People in the world, I guess it's not much an American problem, but we talk about the global warming, we're talking about the world. People in the world that benefit greatly from capitalism. Capitalism is the best thing, is the best cure.
And then they went back to it, and they started drilling more, but by that time it was too late. Many of these things that we're signing and that Doug Burgum is going to be signing, and Chris Wright, who's phenomenal at, Energy, Department of Energy, we're going to be taking we're going to make a lot of money from energy. We have more than anybody else. We're going to make a lot of money from energy. We're going to make a lot of money from tariffs. European Union charges us, they have a VAT tax of 20%, but it's really much higher than that. And that's almost the equivalent of a tariff. And they're tough. They're very tough. They don't take our cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take almost anything. And yet we take their cars and we take their farm product. We take a lot from them. So, we have like a $300 billion deficit with the European Union. So we'll straighten that out with either tariffs or they have to buy our oil. The one thing they can do, our oil and gas, the one thing they can do to catch up quickly, buy our oil and gas. And they should do that.
Will you travel to China this year?
Yeah, could be. I've had the invite.
Mr. President,
I would do it, yeah.
Talking about the European Union and the tariffs, what do you mean when you say that the European Union country is part of BRICS?
Is that a what?
BRICS.
BRICS. No, I was talking about BRICS. BRICS is 6 nations. I think it's 7 nations. And they were looking to do a number in the United States. And if they do that, they won't be happy about what's going to happen to them.
Are you still considering a universal tariff, Mr. President, on all countries?
But we're not ready for that yet. We may wrap it.
Mr. President.
Because essentially all countries take advantage of the U.S. We don't make any good deals in the U.S. It's amazing in a way that we exist. We don't make good deals. We don't have any good deals. We have a deficit with almost, not all, there are a couple, I won't tell you their names because I don't want them to find out about it because they'll feel stupid. But there are a couple of countries that actually don't make money with us. But I don't want to let you know because they'll immediately change that. But we're gonna do, I tell you what, our country has an amazing economic future. I really believe that.
What kind of universal tariff?
God bless America.
Well, you
God
put
bless
a universal tariff on anybody doing business in the United States because they're coming in and they're stealing our wealth, they're stealing our jobs, they're stealing our companies, they're hurting our companies. So you put a tariff on to keep them from doing that.
Mr. President, you surrounded yourself with a whole bunch of billionaires today. President Biden, as in his farewell address, reported about an oligarchy. I was wondering if you could respond to that.
Well, he had a lot of guys, and then they found out that he didn't know what the hell he was talking about, and I think they deserted him. They deserted him, the same guys. Look, I don't make pretense of smart guys, but there are a lot of smart people around, but they did desert him. They were all with him, every one of them. Now they're all with me. I don't know. It's not going to get anything from me. I don't need money. But I do want the nation to do well, and they're smart people, and they have, they create a lot of jobs. And if they don't do it, China's going to do it. You know what they've done is they've taken industries.
Rather than listening, they ask the question and they just they're writing in their phone like Speedy Gonzalez so fast because they're not listening. They're not there to listen to the president. No matter what the president says, they're not going to care. They're just ready to ridicule. They're going to ask the stupidest questions in the world to ridicule him, but they can't do it. He can't stop. He won't stop.
And they've taken it away. They outsmarted China. And, we sort of like that. It's okay. They've done a great job. A lot of them. Not all of them.
Protecting women from radical gender ideologies.
Ooh.
Mr. President, going back to the World Health Organization, you were the president during COVID.
Well, can we talk about that for a second? Respect. It has been a war against women, man. It's crazy what the Democrats did, man, with that woke stuff. How you going to put women in men's sports? How you going to put men in women's sports, man? That's a crime, bro. That's a crime.
Don't you see the importance of an organization like that to coordinate a global response?
Sure, I do, but not when you're being ripped off like we are by the World Health. World Health ripped us off. Everybody rips off the United States.
Look, it's hard to talk about the World Health because you two told me that I can't talk about the 2020 stuff or they can close my channel. I'm serious about that. So I can't talk too much about that, but I bet you can imagine what I think.
And that's it. It's not going to happen anymore. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, guys, let's go.
Hey, man, a bunch of things this guy signed, man. It's going to be a great set of 4 years. Hey, I wish it would be 8. I wish it was 8. But you know what? Even though it's only going to be 4 years, there's going to be a lot of good stuff. And we think about...
Thank you for joining us.
Even the fact that J.D. Vance, together with his son, J.D. Vance stole the night, man. J.D. Vance is very young, passionate, handsome. His wife is beautiful. He's gonna look great as a president in 4 years, J.D. Vance. So that's look with much promise. Let's see how the liberal media is responding to this. Yeah, let's see how what the clowns are saying.
Our nation's capital, where history was made. The White House here behind me, where Donald Trump is spending his first night in 4 years, sworn in earlier today as the 47th president. A day like we...
That makes no sense. He's the 45th. He just came back. He's not 47th. Because that implies that there has been 47 presidents. There haven't been 47th presidents. I know that nobody's with me on that one. Yes, I know everybody calls him the 47th. But that makes no sense. That's like, let's say you had 3 girlfriends, right? And then the first girlfriend becomes your girlfriend again. Do you have 4 girlfriends now? She's your first girlfriend, bro. She's your first and your last. She's the first. She came back. She's still your first. How are you going to say you have 4 girlfriends because you have 1, 2, 3, and then number 1 came back? That makes no goddamn sense. Am I crazy?
We've rarely seen the historic return to the presidency in an inaugural ceremony. Moved indoors because of the bitter cold here, the president promising to bridge the gap that still divides us, while sharply criticizing the previous administration and issuing a record number of executive orders.
Will soon be over.
Tonight,
ooh, that's some good meat right there.
with a toast and a twirl, Donald Trump closing out Inauguration Day and starting his second term as President of the United States. But amid the pomp and circumstance,
You know, Michelle Obama was a handsome man too. Barack Obama's husband was handsome too.
President Trump wasting no time.
Sir, this is a proclamation declaring a national emergency at the southern border of the United States.
That's a big one. A lot of big ones, huh?
In a rare display of presidential power, Donald Trump taking questions from reporters and signing a flurry of executive orders.
The only reason why it's weird, listen, if somebody just like landed from Mars, if somebody migrated from like another country and has been here for 3 years, and became a citizen because they're married to a citizen, I don't know, they're probably confused. They're like, wait a minute, what is the president doing talking to the media? People must be confused. People who don't talk about politics, people who are like right now 15, and when they were like Trump left, they were 11, they were watching Nickelodeon, but now they want to watch the news. 15-year-olds are so confused, like, what's going on? Since when the president talks to the media? They're so confused. Us that are older, we know this is the way that it was supposed to be.
Orders, many aimed at the southern border and the January 6 defendants, issuing over 1,000 pardons to those charged in the attack on the Capitol, including some convicted of violent offenses and others.
Another thing too, if you go against what this guy is saying right now on YouTube, your channel can get closed down. But there's no way in hell I'm gonna go against this. I'm just gonna let it slide. Yep, you heard that right. If you say something about the January 6th that YouTube doesn't like, they will censor your channel. Well, goddamn it, I'm not playing with that. God bless YouTube. I ain't playing with you.
Filled with moments that we didn't see 4 years ago, the presidential passing of the baton. This morning, President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden welcoming Donald and Melania Trump back to the White House.
Donald Trump, just 2 weeks after January 6th itself, chose not to stick around for Joe Biden's inauguration. He was the first president in the modern era to not participate in the peaceful transition of power.
The main event of the day, taking...
Don Emsey he got banned from Facebook. What did you post? Listen, the thing is that he just got there, so I don't know how long it's gonna take. But Trump really has to tell the media companies that they can't censor people. Like 100 years ago, like if you went, let's say, like to the park and you started screaming stuff, like political stuff, they couldn't close you. They couldn't tell you to shut up. So right now, we can't go to the street and yell stuff because nobody's outside, bro. Everybody's on their goddamn phone. I remember when I was like 10 years old, I had like a pair of headphones. I'm from the hood. I'm from the Bronx. And like somebody told me, like, what are you doing wearing headphones? Like, because people back then didn't wear headphones in the hood, man. You could get robbed and killed, man. So right now, you go to any hood, people wearing headphones now, looking down at their phone. Millions of people right now walking around like zombies. So it's not like you can really say, well, YouTube can ban what you're saying and Facebook can ban you, because if you don't like it, you can just go out there in the streets and yell. If you see somebody yelling right now in the streets, man, you're gonna call the police. You know that, man. Social media is a way that you can talk to one another. And I don't know if you know this, but in 2020, Facebook used to close your account if you send somebody a message about this guy's laptop, Hunter Biden. Like, dude, and you know why I think that Mark Rosenberg is kissing Trump's ass? Because he wants protection, man. He wants protection. And I don't know what Trump is gonna do. It will be very expensive with legal fees to go after Facebook. I know you don't think about that, but you know, like when the government is going after a company like Facebook, they'll spend millions of dollars in attorney's fees. It's a tough mission. But at least from now on, no more banning, bro.
Taking place inside the Capitol Rotunda because of the bitter cold. In the second row, some of the richest men in the world, including Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Alphabet's Sundar Pichai, and Tesla's Elon.
Oh, so that's the owner of Alphabet, the Hindu guy, a Muslim guy. I didn't even know I didn't even know how he looked. What is his name again?
Musk. On Jeff Bezos, Alphabet's Sundar Pichai, and Tesla.
Sundar Pichai, not a very attractive name. He should have a nickname like Zune. Zune, that should be his nickname, dude. You have to market yourself better. I mean, I don't mean to sound racist, but if you're gonna own an American company, bro, like you gotta be more marketable. You know, like if your name is Ramon, you can go by Ray. You know, if your name is like Fatima Kushamatata, just say Fatima, bro. I mean, you know, I'm talking about marketing here. I'm not talking about that I'm racist or anything, but Dude, I don't know who the owner of Google is. I didn't know that. They sent me a check for having a YouTube channel every month, and I didn't know his name. Who is
Tesla's, Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Alphabet's Sundar Pichai, and Tesla's
Dude,
Elon
I
Musk.
already forgot his name and I heard it 3 times. I don't remember. But anyways, love to you, man. Don't close my channel. We love you, Google.
All former presidents and first ladies were also in attendance today, except for Michelle Obama.
She felt that his searing.
What happened to that man? Man, what happened to Michelle Obama? I miss that man.
Rhetoric against Barack Obama threatened her family and the safety of her children, and couldn't bring herself to come.
I get at her. Here, that's called being bitter. That's called being a bitter person. Maybe she's gonna run for president. Maybe he's gonna run for president. Maybe he's gonna be the best. Let me stop. Let me stop, man. They gotta close me down for. Let me stop.
Chants of USA as Donald Trump took the podium. J.D. Vance was sworn in first with his wife.
Man, she's pretty. I got you. I don't follow that much American politics lately. I've been too much into Latin American politics the last few months. And all of a sudden, I see that I'm going hard now. Guys, you better subscribe to this channel because I'm gonna be talking about Trump all day now. Every day I'm gonna be here talking about Trump. My Spanish followers are gonna get so angry at me. But who cares? Go back to Mexico if you don't like it. Dude, look at this. She's so pretty, man. That lady is so pretty.
Took the podium.
Look how pretty she is.
J.D. Vance.
Look how pretty she is. Look at that smile, man. That's no Botox. That's pretty. Look at that little baby, man. You know, that could be the future first lady. Look, I'm already saying it. Bans 2028. Bans 2028. Let's go.
Vance was sworn in first with his wife and kids by his side.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
And then it was the president's turn.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
In his first speech as the 47th president,
they fired 13 shots for the colonies, man. I counted. It was like boom, 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 boom. 13 shots. It might have been 14, but that wouldn't make sense. I don't know. It wouldn't make sense. They shot 13, right? 13 cannons. Man, you know, this. Hey, listen, I wasn't there. I'm not like Anglo-Saxon, obviously you can tell. But God damn it, I love this country, man. This country is about freedom. This country is not a race. It's not a nation of one nationality, one identity. We just be proud to be Americans, God damn it. It's an idea, bro. It's an idea.
the theme was clear. America's decline is over.
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world.
I don't know if America declines is over. Well, first of all, I want to say that it really wasn't like America declined a lot with Biden. Biden is just an idiot. And Biden, the worst things were socially, not so much economic. And I know we're gonna let people angry on that one. I think that it wasn't like he caused a recession or something. But he doesn't. He was not great on the economy, but he wasn't like the worst. I think what the challenge of America is now to kind of see if we're going to become, we can still be a superpower, or if we're going to become like not a superpower, right? Like, is this the beginning of the decline? I don't think America's going to decline like an economy, but I think America's going to decline on the idea of imperialism. I mean, let's keep it real, man. Vietnam, Iraq, Korea. I mean, Korea was kind of okay, but Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, we're not doing so great. We're not doing so great invading other countries. So I think as an empire, we're going down as an empire. But economically, you know, I mean, we can go for better days. The sky's the limit, baby. But as an empire, no more empire, man. No more fixing the world. We're in a world now where like even North Korea has nuclear bombs. You know, maybe Iran is gonna have a nuclear bomb. Maybe they already have it. We can't save the world, man. Let the oceans in there. So let's say Canada, by the way. Let the oceans separate us from the evil. The oceans, the mountains, you know, we're separated by great geography. Let's separate ourselves from those idiots. And let's conquer the world. Have a good night, Don.
World. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
With Joe Biden just feet away, Donald Trump criticized the outgoing president and promised to roll back a number of his administration's accomplishments.
We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
He made clear that he was trying to separate himself and even do a 180 from the Biden years. He put the blame for inflation, the blame for national and international affairs squarely at the feet of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It was awkward, to say the least.
This is awesome, bro. This is awesome. This is awesome. I'm super happy about this. The leader of the free for 78% said Donald Trump. This is awesome. I'm going to start heading out, guys, in about 3 minutes. So I just wanted to say goodnight to you guys. 3 more minutes and we're going to wrap it up here.
A standing ovation from Republicans when he mentioned his plans for the southern border.
All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited to see what the heck is going to happen. I mean, I can't wait. Let me tell you this. I can't wait to see what the Mexican president is going to say. I can't wait for the Ukraine war to be over. Things are going to start changing, man. And for some people, things might get worse. For those who came to this country to take advantage, you might get deported for being a criminal. Things are not going to start things might get worse for you.
Will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy.
The president ending on a more unified, hopeful tone.
From New York to Los Angeles, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C., our country was forged and built by the generations of patriots who gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom.
I think you already sense a lowering of the temperature in Washington. Doesn't mean that everything's going to be hunky-dory and people are going to be singing Kumbaya. That's not going to happen. But I think that the fight to the death is over.
Country star Carrie Underwood.
Well, guys, America the Great.
Closing out the ceremony with America the Beautiful.
From sea to shining sea.
Oh, man, the unifier, man. The unifier. Bill Clinton, man. Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton. I liked him as his president. Biden the worst. Biden the worst. Biden the worst. Obama was there too, Obama. What an embarrassment for Obama to not bring his wife. Obama went, right? Obama went. And then you think about, his wife didn't go. And it's just so embarrassing. Hillary Clinton went. Why didn't Obama's wife go? It's so low. Obama's wife used to say, when we go low, we go high. Well, no, Michelle Obama, you went low. You suck, Michelle Obama. You suck, man. You suck balls. All right, guys. Subscribe to the channel, Políticamente Sincero, and that means politically sincere, never correct. Politically sincere always. Guys, I'll see you in the next broadcast.